everyone, welcome back to my channel Shout Out to Books. I am here with a new content today. So today we are going to discuss the movie adaptations of the books. I personally believe that you should first read the book and then you should go to the movie to watch it, because the experience that you get in the book is surely a great one, because everybody's interpretation of book is different. So that's why you should first read the book. That's what I believe, or that's what I try. Like, I had hold on to so many movies just because I wanted to read the book first. So I'm going to talk about the movies which were pretty good with regards to book, or which in which director or actors have done fabulous job so that they could depict the characters from the book, and it was quite satisfactory. The first movie or the first book that I am going to talk about is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The book and the movie both are great, and if you have not read the book, you must have watched the movie or the trailer. The movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio was released in 2013, and the story of this book the story of the movie revolves around the Great Gatsby, Jay Gatsby. The story starts with Nick being at the doctor's, and he is telling how depressed he is with the world, that he hates everything, that there is nothing that he can love about the life and the world, but there is one person he could never manage to hate, and that person is obviously Jay Gatsby. Now here story goes into the flashback, and Nick tells the story of Jay Gatsby, how he met him, what were the deals with the guy, why he liked that guy so much. And along the way, you get to live, or you get to see the lavish New York life during 1920s. So I think this novel was written around 1922. So the parties and the lavish, the fashion that they had during that time. So that is depicted in this novel. So you should, I would always recommend you should read the book first. Book is also great. It's considered to be the classic, okay, and I think it is there in most of the syllabus out there. I would have loved to have it in my syllabus in high school. The character in the book and the movie are explained or are portrayed in great detail. Movie has got a great rating, around 7.2 on IMDb, so it's worth the watch. And Jay Gatsby is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and Nick is played by Tobey Maguire. The story is depicted in such a way that either you will start to believe in love, or you will start questioning love a lot. And believe me, it's absolutely, definitely worth it. The another movie that I'm going to talk about is The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. So I have a book with me. The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. As you can see, this book is the winner of Booker Prize around 2008, and it's an amazing read. The movie was made around in 2021, starring Priyanka Chopra, Rajkumar Rao. There's Adarsh Gaurav, who is the central character. So the central character is basically Balram Halwai, who is also called as the White Tiger. Why? That you will get to know in the movie and the book. I haven't watched movie yet, but I have read the books, and I liked the book a lot. So and I read the reviews of movie. When I went through the reviews, I got to know that it's a good movie. So you should give it, of course, you should give the read a chance first, and then you should go to the movie. It's an amazing movie that I know of. Whatever characters I imagined in the book, right? So the way I imagined Balram Halwai, Adarsh Gaurav exactly looks like that. Actors have done a fabulous job, and I saw the trailers, and trailers seem so promising. So definitely it's a must read, must watch movie. The story of this book is written in terms of letters that Balram Halwai writes to Mr. Jia Bao, who is the Premier of China. Now this Premier post is like the highest rank in the civil services, and who acts like an advisor to the President of China. So that's how powerful this role is. And Balram Halwai is, during these letters, in terms of these letters, is telling the harsh truth, facts about India that we generally see around us, but we don't really give enough attention to it. So one of the review that I read, I resonate with that review a lot for this book. It says that it's an angry book. It's an angry book which talks about injustice. The story of the white tiger depicts his Balram's struggles and his intelligence, his brilliance, how that brilliance gets him into certain situation and how he gets out of that situation. So that cunningness is quite highlighted in this book, and you will actually root for this character a lot. Book makes you look into those details and understand your own country. And even though the plot is in India, it is set in India, the message of the book is definitely universal. And it talks about the power, it talks about individuality, it talks about the struggles, suffering that our middle class or the lower class has to go through. It's eye-opening, it's really eye-opening novel, to be honest. This book will definitely shake you to your core. I can't believe that it took so many years to make this book into a movie. The next book that I'm going to talk about is The Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. As you can see, I'm smiling so broad because this is one of my very favorite movies. I keep on watching, like I have watched it multiple times because movie has done definitely a justice to the book. Book is little bit slow paced, but that slow burn is justified in the movie. Movie's pace is also slow, but yet you will get involved in the story. And I found myself to be rooting for the central character Amy, which is quite frightening. The story goes like this. Amy is the central character of this book. We get to see the general entries that she has done, like her diaries entries that she has added. As part of that, we get to read in the book. Okay. Now this Amy goes missing on her 5th wedding anniversary. And what happens after that? Like media gets involved in that. Her husband is quite shamed for it or blamed for it. What I like about this novel is most of the characters that are seen or that are shown in the novel are grey. They are not black and white. So I like such creations where characters are quite grey. And that lead actress, oh my god. So she is I think Rosamund Pike. That's her name, and she is a British actress, and I had seen her in Pride and Prejudice. Okay, in Pride and Prejudice she plays the elder sister's role for Lizzie, like she is Lizzie's elder sister, and that role that she has played and this role which in the Gone Girl that she has played, those are quite North and South Pole, and you would love the acting. I was so impressed with the movie also. So because I had watched Pride and Prejudice first, so when I started this Gone Girl, right, I was like, oh, that's her. But later on she made me forget that she disappears into the role. So that's sort of acting was needed for the Gone Girl because central character is so strong, and the twists and turns are you won't at all be able to guess what happens, and the end is also like unexpected. So for most of the people out there, I heard that end is not satisfactory, which is not the case for me. I like such ends, so it is interesting. There are some scenes in the movie, there are some scenes in the book which you may not be able to get out of your head, you may not be able to forget, and it's totally worth it. Okay. As I said, I like the characters who are being grey. Why? Because it makes that story so realistic. Like Gone Girl could be happening around me, around you, everywhere, anywhere, and you won't be able to guess. You won't be able to know that it is happening. So definitely read the book first. Okay, don't directly watch the movie. Please read the book first. I know there are so smaller details mentioned in the book, but those details in the second half of the book will give you the big shocks. The 4th book that I'm going to talk about is my all-time favorite, Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. The movie was also great. It's my comfort movie. This is one of the book where I can say surely that I liked movie a lot. I liked movie better than the book, which rarely happens. Okay, it's a love story and it's so sweet. And so basically the story goes like this. There's this central character called Noah, and another one is Ali. Ali is from the rich background, Noah is not from the rich background. They fall in love, and somehow because her parents don't approve of it, they fall apart. So but story doesn't stop here. After a few years they come together, and what happens next is their love story, that you can say, and it's so involving, so engaging. There are so many scenes in the movie which are so beautiful. I specifically like the scene with swans, and that scene was shot at the Cypress Garden in South Carolina. It's a preserve, and A fun fact is that the animals that they have used in the scene were not native, so they had to train them for 1 month, and then they had to they had to shoot this scene. So that much of effort is put into the movie, and the movie was made in 2004, and the actors like Ryan Gosling, then Rachel McAdams, so they have done justice to their roles like anything. You will this is one of the book where I can say, okay, you can even watch movie first. It's not yet considered to be classic, but I am seeing like during the next generation it's going to be considered to be a classic. The next novel that I'm going to talk about is The Forest Gump by Winston Groom. It is so heartwarming that it will make you feel soothing and light-hearted even after watching this movie. This movie I can watch multiple times. Definitely, you have to watch it. You have to read this novel also. It's so good. Of course, Tom Hanks. So the story takes character with a low IQ who is Forrest, okay, and it makes reader fall in love with that character. So it's definitely a milestone when it comes to empathy. There are so many characters with different background, different situations that the author makes you empathize with those characters very easily, that you won't even realize that you're empathizing with them. You're trying to understand them, and right after you finish the movie, right after you finish the book, your perspective of life is going to definitely change. The story teaches us to accept the characters, accept the people who are different from us, and not just accept, even love them. And that's a big deal. There are characters in this which are a single parent who are war survivors, and you'll have to go through their journey. It is depicted in that manner that you will be able to understand why they are behaving in certain fashion. I liked Forrest's mom a lot. Okay, that's like a note that I have to make, that a parent should be like her. This book or this movie has element in it which will make you fall in love with life itself. The next book that I am going to talk about is The Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is one of the book which is depicted or which is adapted into the movies like many times, I think around 6 times. The recent one was released in 2019. I'm yet to watch that. The one that I watched is from the 1994, and I still like the movie a lot. Although it is little bit slow paced, and there were some turns of the characters or the character arc that gets developed is little bit unsatisfactory for some of the readers out there, specifically for the leading character that they show, who is tomboyish. Her name is Jo. Okay, so the story revolves around 4 sisters and their mom, because their father is out into the army to fight, and that army is Union Army. So I think it's around the Civil War, the time that is shown in the book. And so these 4 sisters have the different characters. Okay, they are not at all same, and one of them is the tomboyish. I believe that's sort of depicted as a central character because she wants to be a writer, but that was the time when women were not into that profession enough. Like, that's a new thing that she wanted to make life herself, and she doesn't believe in marriage. Like, she doesn't want to get married, settle down just like other girls. She is different. So that story revolves around her and her character arc, how that ends. So what I think is, what I read after reading this book is that author was sort of to create the satisfactory end of the book for those wider audience or wider reader. That's why she has done a certain arc for Jo. But if we take her author's perspective on the character, the end was going to be different. And I heard that in 2019's movie it was addressed. So I'm yet to watch that. I'll watch that. So their struggles in this story or in the movie are depicted so beautifully. The next book that I'm going to talk about is The Pursuit of Happiness by Chris Gardner. You must have seen the movie by Will Smith. Movie is great and the book is greater. Okay, I believe that movie has done a good justice, but still, you should go through book also. So The Pursuit of Happiness gives a great message on to not to give up on your dreams. Specifically, that message is shown or shown from a story of a man who is broke professionally, who doesn't have money, and yet he has a son. So it's a story of a single father who gives who teaches his son not to give up on dream through his actions. It's definitely a heartwarming story, and it's a must-read, must-watch movie. The next book that I'm going to talk about is my all-time favorite, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. This book is so heartbreaking that it will make you cry, and you won't forget it ever. Okay, the movie was also so good. Emilia Clarke has done a great job in the movie. So the story revolves around Louisa Clarke, who has recently lost her job, and she gets hired as a caretaker for a man who is paralyzed due to an accident, and that man is Will. So their chemistry moves throughout the book like anything, and there are so many amazing scenes, and the character Louisa's character is quirky, so that's what I liked about this book a lot. The journey that Louisa has to go through, or Will has to go through, is not at all simple. So it's a must read and must watch for someone who has liking in the romantic stories. If you like romantic stories, right, don't miss on this movie, don't miss on this novel. It's so beautiful. Make sure to watch these movies, make sure to go through these books, and let me know how did you find my recommendations. Thank you for watching it till the end. Have a great day ahead.